Hello, my Girl Scouts. Welcome to Daisy Coding for Good. And this is going to be Badge 3 on app development. For this one, I'm going to suggest using Scratch. And so right around step 2 of working on this badge. So step 1, we're going to talk about decompose your problems into smaller steps. And step 2 is going to be design an app to solve the problem. And then share and improve your app. For badge 3, daisies are suggested to do a storyboard, which you can do anything you like as a storyboard. You can talk about any type of problem. So, for example, hand washing is a very important thing right now. Maybe you'll make a hand washing tutorial as a storyboard. Or in our case, Aurora and I did a pollinator storyboard at the level of Daisy. But I would suggest using Scratch, and I actually don't suggest using the Scratch app. I suggest just using the Scratch by going straight onto the website in whatever form of thing that you use, whether it be Safari or whatever you use as your internet browser. So I suggest using it through there. Using it that way, it is free, and you just need to sign up for a basic sign-in. So kiddos, if you were watching this video without mom or dad and you would like to use Scratch to do the designing, please let them know so that they can make a Scratch account just for you. So without further ado, let's start working on Badge 3 app development. So the first one is talking about decompose your problems into smaller steps. So one of the helpful things to keep in mind when you are going to build anything into any type of coding system, but really kind of anything, is to break down big things into small things. So you want to think of step by step. And you can do this with anything that you do. For example, before you go tie your shoes, or before you go wash your hands, or before you go clean up something in your house, like pick up your toys, you could think of them in step by step. So I'm going to go pick up my toys. The first thing I'm going to do is go to the playroom, right? The next thing I'm going to do is open up the toy bin. The next thing I'm going to do is go around and pick up all the soft toys. And then after that, I'm going to go to the Lego bin and open up the Lego bin and put in all the Legos. Then I'm going to go around and close all the bins and make sure everything is picked up and turn off the light in the playroom and then leave the playroom. And I have cleaned up the playroom. Those are step by step, and they are smaller pieces to the bigger objective, which was cleaning up the playroom. So that is something that you need to keep in mind, and that's what we consider decomposing your problems into smaller steps. So please take a minute, pick a slightly bigger thing, and turn it into small steps. And it could be making a sandwich. Just pick something, pause the video, and work from a big step into tiny ones, and then please rejoin me. All right, now that you've done that, let's talk about some words to know. So the first one is an app, which is short for an application. This is a program that runs on your computer, your tablet, your phone. An app can be entertaining, like when you play a game or watch a movie, and they can be helpful, like giving you directions from your house to the soccer field. Or they can also teach us something, like a new language. So these are all things. Application features. These are the parts of the app, and they could be things like using the camera for a welcome video, or using the speaker, or help with the page, or the way for people who want to use like a direction guide or a first time to get connected. Decomposition. This is when you break down the problems into smaller steps or pieces to solve them. And then development. This is when you create something new. When you develop something, you create a plan before you begin to build it. Then after you build it, you test to see if it works. And you would do this before you would do the final word, which is not here, which is launching your final product. Which brings us to step 2, designing an app that solves a problem. Imagine you are going to build a house. You wouldn't just start putting all the walls up. You'd make a plan first. When an app developers have a new idea, they first draw what the app could look like on paper. Ask others how it could be even better, and this helps the programmer test different ideas before they begin to code it. When programmers create an app, they make a storyboard that shows how someone would use the app. For example, they'll sketch the screen and the app features with buttons and pictures and words. They'll also put them in order of sequences to show a user how to move through the application. Which brings us to planning a storyboard. Do you love playing video games or watching a cartoon? The people who make games or cartoons use storyboards. Storyboards are pictures that put a certain order or sequence. A storyboard helps game makers to see how the game will look before they start creating it. One of the first storyboards was used in 1930s to make a cartoon. Now people use storyboards to make books, movies, plays, cartoons, comic books, video games. So there's lots of different applications for storyboards. So the second step to your badge is creating a storyboard of your own. And then the final one is sharing and improving that storyboard. So the main objective to this badge is to build your own storyboard, code it, and put it out there for the world to see. And so I'm going to walk you through Scratch now, and this has a second video set that I'm going to walk you through how to use Scratch, and then I also made a video of what Aurora created as her storyboard that she published and some screenshots of Scratch. So there is a fourth video that helps with Scratch and how it works to help you guys get started. So please also feel free to watch that video. So without further ado, here's some instructions on creating your own storyboard. And right here is the Scratch website. And you can then create your own account and log in, or have mommy and daddy to create an account. We want to be cyber secure here. So make sure that you have help with an adult on your creating of a Scratch account. Then what you're going to do is draft a story. So you want to create your storyboard. And here's my little step-by-step instructions. And these are compliments of the fabulous program Girls Who Code. And they have little step-by-step instructions on how to use Scratch and create a storyboard. So here is the how to create your storyboard on this side. And so you're going to first sit down and put together a template. Now remember that you're going to code each one of these steps. So in order to have, for example, a character maybe go to wash their hands, I might make a backdrop with a sink. Then I might have a sprite, which is what Scratch calls characters. So I'll select a sprite, maybe start on one side of the page and slide towards the sink. Then I might have a second sprite that is a soap bottle, squirt soap at the sprite, and then as my last storyboard I might run the water and have them wash their hands. And so try to keep yourself to maybe 3 or 4 action storyboards, because just to code that will probably take about 12 to 14 actions of code. So keep your story simple, please. The next thing that you would do after you draft your story is to go on to your Scratch. You can watch the introduction project and then work through actually programming it out, selecting a sprite, creating a backdrop, coding each one of those. And so now we get into continuing a new project, how to create a new project, how to code your project. And this brings you to the final part. You can then run to see how it works. And finally, you can share it with everybody on the Scratch page. So Scratch will let you share it. And you can then download your shared application, or you can be low tech and do a video on video to share what you've seen. So at any point in time, feel free to look at these notes that I have, pause the video, read some of them, and please also watch that second video where I'm actually walking through Scratch and showing you some of the stuff live on the web page so that you can see how it works. And also, if you would like to then share the link to your Scratch, you are welcome to share it onto the Facebook page, our Troop Facebook page, which once again is Troop 50363. And girls, as always, please let me know if you were inspired to do anything, create anything, put anything together. I always love to hear what's going on with you ladies. You're so creative and wonderful, and I hope everybody is having an amazing day. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Bye.